My Columbus kid niggas. Long Island. Revolution is here. New York. Revolution is here. Revolution is here. Revolution is here. Revolution is here. Y'all better be cool, we shaking up the block. Kinda energy that make the white neighbor call a cop. Either you are on top or you hang with all the ops. Feeling like I'm Bron James, first time he caught the rock. Man, I treat the rap game like I'm sitting on a pot. Chitty chitty bang bang, teleport across the lot. European cars drove just so I could fart in them. Pardon me, the young African educated targeted. Hot nagas on fire, elevated marvelously. Catch me with who started with me, brothers who was starving with me, sisters who assisted, and homies going harder with me. Shine cause the ancestral spirit is retarded in me. They bout all the titties and spinning biddies. I'm taking all the winnings and building cities. Walk through the neighborhood familiar and respected by a couple riders that'll kill you in a second. Revolution is here. Open my eye. Revolution is here. Open my eye. Revolution is here. Revolution is here. Had to earn respect, couldn't afford to burn a check. Habits didn't last long. Weed, Molly, Percocet. New York summers are how you bleed now. Tourniquet. Most of my friends is on drugs you never heard of yet. Dealing with the damages, most of it is permanent. Killing all the amateurs, flows be the murderers. Couple rappers running around claiming that they conscious now. Things people do just to make a profit. Wow, I am not the sharpest man in the world, but most of us got the attention span of a squirrel. The hardest artist you thinking the man is a girl. The only thing missing is a fan and some pearls. I ain't hating, no, get your money, player. If you don't do it now, you gon' run into me later. The consciousness of the people is resonating greater, so I'll be consistently leaving records on the fader. Revolution is here. Revolution is here. Revolution is here. Revolution is here.
Hey, how y'all doing this evening? This is AMPspirationTTV, and I am your host, the Plump Queen. Well, it is Monday, Moon Day, first day of the week, and of course, I always appreciate you giving me all of your time and your energy. Well, we have the Family Edition, Family Ties Edition, continuing this week, and today's topic is single parent homes versus having both parents in the home. And before we get into that, make sure you hit that share button. Share, because you know we have to make Ampspiration go viral. All right. So I got the inspiration. Well, the Ampspiration for this, I saw a post a week or so ago, and there was one of a gentleman who had stated, you know, it seems that he was making a sarcastic remark, and I'm going to assume he had a conversation with someone who gave him the impression that his life was a lot better than theirs simply because he lived with both of his parents. Now, this is not the first time I've heard this. There have been several, people that I know and have come across who honestly feel that way. Now, not to discredit, having both parents in the home, because that is very important. We need both, our parents. You need both your mother and father. You need both of that masculine and feminine energy, to be balanced. But we know we live in a very unbalanced, time right now. And, sometimes our parents aren't, our best role models. Granted, they gave us birth and, they created us. But, sometimes, honestly, that's only their purpose. sometimes, if your parents were just supposed to do just that, and that was to create you, and then the other forces in the world and other people were supposed to bring you up. I know that's a very hard pill to swallow, and a lot of people, may not agree, but that's honestly just what it is. Now, I'll speak from, my experience. I grew up in a single, I lived with my mom. She's a single mother. My father did not take care of me. Okay, and I've given y'all some insight about my dad. Mentally, he is not sound. My mom and him were very young, when they had me. And, my mom was dealing with a lot of issues at home with her parents and things of that nature. So them getting together, it was definitely a godsend to my mom. And as far as my mother says, where my dad was concerned, he wasn't sure, if he could have children or not. But he did. So I guess that was just his purpose. His purpose was to give me his 23 chromosomes and, all of his DNA and whatever it is that I have in me now was his purpose. Because like I said, he's not always sound. And I personally believe that had he raised me, I probably wouldn't be mentally sound myself, because that is my DNA. Regardless of what, that is my father. But growing up with my mom from birth to 9, I lived with my mom, my grandmother, my grandfather, and a few of my aunts and my uncle. It was a full house, but my mom was the only, parent. My grandfather, he played a significant male role in my life, and my uncle didn't. My uncle was on drugs, the majority of my life, so he was in and out. But what I will say is, I do have great memories of him. I remember when I was very young. I'm going to even say from daycare up until about the 2nd grade. He used to help me with my homework all the time. My uncle was very good with numbers, regardless of, his issues and all. He was an extremely smart man, and he definitely knew, how to handle money. So these are things that I remember. So even though my father wasn't in my life, I had a lot of positive masculine energy in my life. Now, just the other episode, I was telling you about my granddad and some of the negative things about him, but I can say from my personal experience, I did not have a negative experience with my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? He was the first man, my first, representation of what a man is. And from my perspective, it wasn't bad. I was just told stories and things of that nature, but he has never, violated me, abused me, hurt me, or mistreated me in any form or fashion all the way up until he died. So he was a positive, influence, in my life. He helped my mom in ways, once I was born and things of that nature. So, he was positive, in my life. Then with the business that my family ran, we were selling produce at the time. Actually, my family that lives in Georgia now, they still do that. But they used to set up shop at a farmer's market in Southside Jamaica, Queens. If anybody's from New York, you know where that is. It used to be an outdoor situation, where they had a bunch of vendors with all types of stuff. And then they, I don't want to call it downsized, but they bought a building and put a food court in there and turned the farmers market almost into like a mini food court kind of situation. So I grew up around all of the vendors that worked with my grandfather and my mom. There were several men, that were there. There was an old Spanish man that we called Papi. I don't know what his real name is, but we called him Papi. And he was like my second grandfather. Every time I got a tooth pulled, I got an A on a test or something like that, he would give me some money, $1, some change, some something. He didn't give me produce because we were already selling produce. But, he would give me rewards, for doing well in school and things of that nature. Then there was another gentleman, and what is his name? Mr. George. Yes, I'm so glad I didn't forget that. Mr. George. Mr. George taught me how to play chess. Now, my mom's husband introduced me to chess, but Mr. George is the one who cultivated whatever little skill that I have right now. He took the time, because I used to work with my mom in the summertime and after school. So and in the summertime, she used to leave me there by myself. By the age of 12, I was, helping my mom run her business. So when I was out there by myself, they watched me. They made sure that I was okay. They made sure that, because we used to be outside, as a vendor on the street. So they were my protection. No one could ever bother me or say nothing crazy to me. You know what I mean? Because mind you, I'm selling, at the time we were selling CDs and, well, cassette tapes. CDs didn't come out just quite yet. But we were selling oldies cassette tapes. That was our business. So there were, grown-ups coming to me and buying, these products all the time from me as young as 12. So they were all around and they protected me. I had no issues, never felt unsafe. I was handling money and all of that, and it was all good. So Mr. George, when, it was slow, would bring his chessboard out and we would play. And there were other gentlemen, Mr. Johnny and this other guy, I can't remember his name, but he used to we used to make fun of each other. He used to call me Applehead, and I called him Curly because he had really curly hair, whatever. But I had a lot, and not to mention my school teachers. So I had a lot of positive masculine energy in my life. That's one of the reasons why I'm not one of your your bitter females. I wasn't searching for my dad. What I'm saying? When I got into relationships with men, I wasn't looking for a father figure, because the environment that my mother had me in, even though she wasn't with, the father of her child, she had me in an environment where I can thrive, and then I did have a positive perspective on what a man is. You see what I'm saying? So even with her being my only parent, I got influences and I was taught, and I had a positive experience, with men. So my single parent story, was a success. I grew up in the projects, but I didn't live a project life. Like I said, my family, they sold produce and things of that nature, so we ain't never had no food. I don't know what government cheese tastes like. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what none of that. I ate Kraft. When I was eating cheese, we ate Kraft. My grandfather, like I said, he sold produce, so we had Sunday dinner every night. I never went, my grandfather actually fed the projects at one point. That was my single parent, experience. Not to say that there wasn't a lot of stuff going on, because like I said, I had my uncle a lot of my aunts and my uncles were on drugs. I told you about my grandfather, what he was doing prior to me being alive. So I was around these people. These were the first people in my life in a single home. I'm not perfect. I definitely have issues that I have to work on, but I think I came out all right. I can't say who I would be if my mom had stayed with my dad. I can't say that. Because again, he's not mentally sound. To this day, he can barely I'm doing better than he is right now, this second. So I can't say that or wish, my situation to change. Because it has molded me and it has brought me to where I am and has made me who I am. And I love who I am. And I love, honestly, the broad spectrum or perspective that I have. I have seen different types of lifestyles. So I get to, pick and choose what's right for me. I got to do that because of the different, like I said, the different lifestyles I was exposed to. There are several single people, think about all of the celebrities that grew up in single parent homes. And they're extremely successful right now. So it's not even so much about how many parents is in the home. It's about the quality of people that are around you. Like, I know I don't have kids, but I've told this to my mom and my friends, on several occasions. Because a lot of us feel like, our family members are obligated, like, because we have children and they're our relatives, so, they have rights to our kids, and, we have to allow them to be around them and be an influence in their life. And to me, that's no, absolutely not. It is my job as a parent to make sure that my child is protected and, has the best environment possible. And if you are a detriment to that, or if you know what I'm saying, are counteracting what it is that I'm trying to instill in my child, then you can't be around my child. That's period. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's my job to do what I see fit to protect you, to protect my child, to have the best influences around them. Because this world is full, you know what I'm saying, of BS. All this arguing we got going on lately. There's a lot of stuff going on. So me personally, only people that would be allowed around my children are people that are going to be beneficial to them. Because when my child gets older, you know, they can do it, you know, they have to make their own choices in life. You know, they have to go through those trials and tribulations and all, but it's my job to prepare them for it. So anybody, if I had a child with an individual that was not fit to be in my child's life, they wouldn't be. If I have a son and I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure that my son has father figures. I don't care if it's my brothers, you know what I'm saying, if I have to put them in some kind of program, you know what I'm saying, that has to do with, you know, there's a lot of people, celebrities and even people in communities who do outreach programs, you know what I'm saying, for young boys, you know, who don't have fathers. Steve Harvey has a whole camp that he does every year, you know what I'm saying, to do things like that, you know. So it's all about the well-being of that child. Okay, so I'm going to flip this as well with two parents. My mom, she grew up, you know what I'm saying, with both of her parents. My grandfather, told you that story. He was abusive in his own ways. My grandmother, she had left them in that abusive situation. But there was two parents in the home. I know somebody else that I grew up with, you know, that had a mom and a dad, but they were on drugs. One was on, the mother was on drugs, and the father was an alcoholic. They had about 5 kids. Those children had a very rough life, but they had 2 parents in the home, though. So we need not believe or, you know, assume that someone's life is better or, you know what I'm saying, or not, or less better than yours simply because of the dynamics of the household. There are successful 2-parent homes. There are successful single-parent homes. This is the world that we live in. We really need to start learning about each other. We make all of these assumptions based off our perspective. Most people who say, you know, single home is because they felt like they were lacking that parent, and they feel as if they had that parent in their life, things would be different. The fact of the matter is, you don't know. You have no idea what your life would have been like with that person there. You don't know. You can only speculate. I know we watch TV and, you know what I'm saying, we read books and things of that nature, and it gives us, again, this false, you know, this false perception of what a family is supposed to be like. And if it doesn't look like this, you don't have a successful family, or there's something wrong with you and there's something wrong with your family. And that just ain't it. I mean, I could take it further with other walks of life, like, you know, in the polygamous world. There are a lot of people who have dealt with that, and it has been a catastrophe. But then I know some others that have successful, you know what I'm saying, successful polygamous relationships. Their children are thriving. A whole lot more intelligent than a lot of these regular school kids. They literally have the it takes a village to raise a child mentality in their home. All these children have several mothers. They all, you know what I'm saying? And not to say, and of course there's only one man in the situation, but even there, you know, the other males that, you know, that are cool with that, they're still, you know, take responsibility for their home, you know what I'm saying, for their brothers' kids as well as their wives. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, polygamy is not my cup of tea, but I've absolutely seen it work. So there are different types of families. There are different types and different ways to relate to one another, and neither one to be personally is wrong. It's all about what what resonates with you and what your life path, chooses. What makes you comfortable. You got to live this life. Can't nobody live it for you. I don't care what other people's opinions are. You got to live this life. Can't nobody do it for you. If you're a religious person and you believe that on Judgment Day you're gonna stand in front of the Father and all that, it says right there that you're gonna be there by your damn self. Ain't nobody gonna be there with you to say nothing about what's going on. That's supposed to be between you and God, right? Alright. And same with conscience. So we already know that everything starts with us and we run our own lives. We create our reality at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter what anybody says or anybody's opinion. You create your own reality. Period. That's the difference between, that's the reason why people can go through the same situations and come out with a different perspective of it. There are several people, I'm not the only person, that lost an arm. But there's people who've taken it, the way I've taken it, and there's people who have taken it the other way, who feel like their life is over and, they don't, they're not attractive anymore or any of those things because they lost their arm. It's all about your perspective. So we need to stop assuming and honestly try to learn and see each perspective. I don't understand what's so hard about that. Like, we really need to get that together, Black people. We all have been hurt. We all go through stuff, and we really need to start, making the effort to understand one another and their situations. We don't do that. Your parents, whether you're living in a single parent home or you're living with both of your parents, is honestly about the quality of care that you're given. Peace, L. Parker in the building. Peace. Okay? So, for all of you folks out there that grew up in single parent homes and you think, that other people just got it so much better because they have both their parents, that's not necessarily true. Like, again, one good parent is better than two bad ones. One good influence is better than two bad influences. Because your parents teach you one or two things. They either show you what to do or show you what not to do. It's unfortunate you don't get to pick which is which, but that's how it goes. So we need to keep this in mind, when we're having conversations like this and, we're talking to people. Because the gentleman that made a comment about this that inspired this video, he seemed very disturbed by, whatever was said. And it was almost like it took him back into, thinking about his life and just how, I guess about the negative things, just how misunderstood, he is. So to be quite honest, my biggest thing about this topic today is to have more understanding. We have to start understanding each other, especially if we want to fix our issues. We got to get to the root of shit. Everybody, we keep doing this Band-Aid stuff. We keep, going with the hype of the moment instead of actually getting to the root of the issues that we say, that are important to us. And it all starts in the home. It all starts with family. Okay, now my life is not better or less than anybody else's. There are definitely there are definitely moments when I felt that I wish I had my dad there, especially when, you and your mom is not, or you and that parent that you are with are not getting along. It definitely comes up to your mind, well, if I had another parent there, then that could have been my scapegoat or my way out, or, something different to help. That's what a lot of us think. Again, you absolutely do not know. And you have to honestly trust the universe's process. Everything happens for a reason. The good, bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and the indifferent. All of it happens for a reason. So, That's why when things happen to me now, or even when I'm reflecting on, old stuff, I truly try to figure out the why. That honestly helps me keep a focused mind, so it doesn't bother me, at all. And I can actually fix whatever issue that I have with it. Because all the issues that you have is a reflection of something that that you need to fix within yourself. That's something that I've been learning a lot. Well, I should say last year. Everything it comes to you. All the negative, I'm telling you, you got to look into yourself and just be like, I Plum Queen, what's going on with you? Like, why is this energy around you? Why are you attracting these people? Why is this, what's going on? That's how we got to start thinking. That's what I do now. It's been wonders for my emotions. I keep telling you how emotional I am. So I'm actively, trying to do things, to balance that out. So, for a person coming from a single parent home, I'm not going to, I don't want to use the word disrespect, but I'm going to respect my story. I'm glad that my mom was my, my major influence, in my beginning years. I think I'm almost just as glad that my dad wasn't in my life at that age when I was developing. Because like right now, as an adult, I really don't have much of an attachment to him, so I don't see me being around him and flipping any switches. I actually feel like him not being around me all that time and me to becoming the woman that I am, I may be able to help him. Because I got my mind right. I might be able, to bring some sanity to him. You just never know. But if I was just as crazy as he is, that's not going to work. So, respect, respect your situation. Respect your story. That's really, that's really what, what I really want to push on this. Because everybody, there are people with both of their parents going through a nonsense, and there are people, they only have one parent that are going through nonsense. There's nonsense on both sides, so neither one is better. I personally feel it's honestly the quality of the parenting. Is your mother a good mother? Is your father a good father? That's how I see it. So if you're not a good parent, I personally feel like you don't need to be influencing that child. That's how I feel. I feel like that's the ultimate parental, thing to do. If you know that you ain't right for your kids, your mind's not right. You know that, whether it's you're dealing with substance abuse or you have emotional issues or whatever. Like, whatever it is. If you know that you're not fit, you already had the baby, so it is what it is. They're here. But if you truly know that you're not in the right mind frame or, or a position to, to do for that child the way it deserves, then you should make that parental decision. Maybe you need to eliminate yourself. I've seen it. I know this lady, she had a drug problem. And she got pregnant one time, during that issue. And she knew that she wasn't ready to stop, being on drugs and being out in them streets. So she gave her baby to her grandmother. And, because her grandmother was very religious and, told her, we don't do abortions around here. God don't make no mistakes. So she gave her baby to her grandma. And until she got herself together, she left that child with her grandma. Now, she came by once in a while to see her baby, and that definitely affected, her child. But how would that have affected, her baby if she was living with her as a crack addict? How would that have worked? Like, I'm not a religious person, but I'm sure You know what I'm saying? That little girl being with her grandma, going to church, you know what I'm saying? And, being in positive things, you know what I'm saying, was a great help. That little girl grew up and was able to help her mom because she got a good foundation, because she wasn't, you know what I'm saying, tainted in a lot of ways by her mom. Then I know people who have lived with drug addicts as their only parent. And to this day, they have emotional, you know what I'm saying, mental, you know what I'm saying, problems that is really hard to break. Because at the end of the day, that's their mama. Right, wrong, and indifferent. That's still their mother. That's still the woman that gave birth to them. That's still their God. But now in their adult age, they're having a really, really hard time. You know what I'm saying? Figuring stuff out, understanding themselves, loving themselves. Peace, King. Peace, King. Appreciate your time and your energy. You know what I'm saying? I know so many people that are close to me that, you know what I'm saying, that deal with that. So again, y'all gotta stop making those types of assumptions. It's honestly about the right parenting. It's not about having, you know what I'm saying, both parents or one. I'm living proof of that. So we need to do better, and we need to, we need to start understanding one another. We really need to get with our peoples and try to understand, like sit down with somebody one day and actually talk to them, about their lifestyle. What was that like? We don't understand each other and we don't care to, and that's the biggest issue. Just because we're different in certain ways, we automatically assume like that's how it is. You don't understand me, and that's another thing that I read that is a phrase that really bothers me. People always swear, they say, if you didn't walk them, you can't tell me, you don't understand because you ain't been what I've been through and stuff like that. That's not true. Listen, I ain't never got burnt up before. I've never been in a fire where I've gotten first, second, or third degree burns. But I do know that's not what the hell I want to go through. I do know that shit's going to hurt like a mother. I don't need to experience that to know that I don't want to, that I don't even want to know what that feels like. So it's the same thing. I don't have to actually literally go with what you go through to sympathize and empathize with you. The same with me. You guys don't have to lose a limb to overstand, you know what I'm saying, that, life may be a little bit more difficult for me. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to go through that to know that. Yes, Jamal, words, we have these phrases and these words that have been just embedded in us, and that's how we see everything. And it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Words bring life. We speak that shit into existence. So we have to do better with that. Your first initial thought about something, you should change it. Like, this is how I normally would think about this or how I react. So let me try something else. We need to consciously do that. If we would do that, all of the things that we argue and debate about we actually find solutions for them. But we don't do that. And that's a whole problem. Whole problem. And every subject that I come up with, I can promise you is going to always come back to unity. Because guess what? If we loved up on one another, if we felt responsible for one another, it wouldn't matter if there were two parents or a single parent in the home, because the whole community is going to take care of your kids, period. That's how we need to be thinking. When I lived in the projects, I didn't fear for nothing. I lived in the projects. There were drug dealers. People were shooting. Like I said, I lived in a house full of drug addicts. But I was safe in the PJs. I didn't go outside with my mom or my aunts. I was outside by myself all the time. Just like all the other kids. But they watched us. There was nothing that anybody can do to me or, say to me, sideways, and somebody didn't know me and wasn't going to go tell my grandfather or one of my aunts. Wouldn't happen. I was protected as a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we need to that's where we need to focus and we need to work towards. You know, our relation, the way we relate to each other is just so toxic. And it's going to take, it took us years to develop this. So it's going to take us years, you know what I'm saying, to undevelop it. But we have to try and we have to start somewhere. And even with small little conversations like this, small little debates about whose life is better. You know what I'm saying? Like, just little, so minute. But just overcoming that can change a lot. Because if you could change your perspective on that, you can change your perspective on everything that we got going on. We got to stick together, guys. Unity is what we need. We're not going to go anywhere until we do that. We have to stop focusing on our differences. Them differences is going to be there. How are we the same? Like, that's what I'm going to, every time I see a live now or a post that says something like that, that's going to be my new phrase. How? How do we change that? How do we fix that? What can we do to make this better? We know what the problem is, so how do we find the solution? And this is another question that I want to ask people. You know, I want to ask people. It's like, I think about the movies that we watch, like that Bird Box shit that we was all watching. My thing is, if something like that was to really, really happen, would you help me? That's the question that I want everybody to pose to themselves. You see in the beginning of the movie, everybody's running and nobody cares who's religious. No, it doesn't matter what your religion is then. Don't matter who you fucking then. None of that shit matters if some entity is coming to kill all of us. See, all of a sudden, then we overstand that we are the same because we're all human beings right now. There's something greater than a human being that can destroy us. So all the stupid stuff that we argue about and all our differences mean nothing at that very moment because we're all the same. If we all look at this right now, we're going to die. Don't matter who you pray to. You look at that thing, you're gonna get possessed and you're gonna die. So I pose this question to everybody that pushes these differences and you focus so much on that. Wouldn't you want somebody to help you in that situation? Are you gonna care, you know what I'm saying, about, you know what I'm saying, who's from Africa or not? And if we are you going to think about any of that shit? If a 2012 situation come out and bombs start going off. Nah. I would hope you wouldn't be thinking about that. Because you're going to want some help. When you're in need, you're going to want help. And you're not going to care where that help comes from. So how about we think about that before shit hits the fan? How about we get these connections going so if that ever was to happen, we can be all right. So I can know that, yeah, I can knock on this person's door and they'll let me in. Or this person will know they can knock on my door and I'll let them in. Think about that question. That's dope, Tashi. And you know what I'm saying? I'm the same way too. I would help. With caution, of course, because we saw the movie and letting a couple of people in was good. And then as it got further down the movie, letting people in wasn't a good idea. So we definitely have to work that out. But I'm not going to be worried about, who you pray to and what your sexual preference is and none of that in that situation. And I would hope that you wouldn't think about that either. If I'm running, you know what I'm saying, down the street with all this purple I got on and ox and, you know what I'm saying, crystals and shit, I would really hope, you know what I'm saying, that a religious person wouldn't see that and deem like, okay, well, you should die because I don't want that. And I'm definitely not going to not let somebody in because they holler at Jesus every day. I'm not going to do it. We need to think about stuff like that. We wait until, you know what I'm saying, like I said, when everything is at a precipice, that's when, you know what I'm saying, we want to do stuff. I heard that in a movie once. I believe it was Prometheus that I was watching. The guy, the man was trying to, no, it wasn't Prometheus. It was, I think, The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves, when he came back as the alien dude trying to kill the Earth, you know, to kill us so they can save the Earth thing. And the guy that was, I guess, what was he doing? He was pleading our case to him. You know, he pretty much said that that's how we are as human beings. It's at the brink, you know what I'm saying, of destruction is when we decide that we want to stick together. That's how we seem to function. We need to change that. And I believe Jamar said something like that either yesterday or on another live, where he was speaking of how we're motivated by negativity. Think about it. Michael Jackson was, you know what I'm saying, was an amazing artist. But that was because, you know, Joe Jackson pretty much beat greatness into him. It's almost that slave mentality. Peace to everyone coming in. Hotel. You know, we're motivated, you know what I'm saying, by negativity, by aggression. Think about when sports and all that. You know, the team player, you know what I'm saying, that has the most potential, the coach rides them. They always, you know, getting on them about that. You know what I'm saying? Every little mistake they make, they just riding on them. And you know what I'm saying? And what they say is, you know, I'm not gonna go horse, you know what I'm saying, for a player with potential. We need to change how we're motivated. Because I can say the same thing about myself too. I'm guilty of this. You know, most of the time, like me losing my arm, that was the most focused I've ever been since freshman year, when I wanted to get into the vocal department. This was the most, you know, you can say traumatic thing that's ever happened to me. And it's also the one thing that I took the best. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like, you got one arm, yo, and life is about to be crazy. You ain't got no choice but to work this thing out. Push, nigga, put. Like, that was the, you know what I'm saying, that was the attitude behind that. And it never faltered. It was there from day one, and it never faltered. Y'all done seen my timeline for the past couple of months and how emotional I've been. You know what I'm saying? You would think that that's not the same person. A lot of people ask me and come to me, but they don't understand me. Like, how do you trip or, you know, feel types of way about these things and you took this like a G? I ask myself that question a lot too. And that's something I need to change. Because that's true. This shit right here is crazy. So if I can handle that, I should be able to handle anything, especially when it comes down to people. Because people's opinions are theirs. And, you know what I'm saying, you don't control what people do. You have to have control about the people that's in your life. If I don't want a certain energy around me, I don't have to have it. That's a fact. But in the moment, it doesn't snap like that. So even I, you know what I mean, need to change that. We need to be motivated by love. You know what I'm saying? We need to be motivated, you know what I'm saying, by, you know, wanting to do what's best for us. Not simply because you ain't got no choice, or you're going to get beat up or get shot or go to jail or, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Or be abused if you don't get it right. That should not be the way that we motivate each other. That cutthroat type, that shouldn't be. Peace, 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 everyone. That's not how this should be. We should simply be motivated, like, you know, this is a positive thing, this is going to help us. That should be our motivation. Because if I do this, it's going to help me, that's going to help you, and we just going to all be popping. Like, that's what should motivate you. Your success, not, you know, well, if I don't do this right now, I'm going to be put out. If I don't make this money, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to be able to feed myself. You know what I'm saying? Or if I don't do this, I'm going to, like, that should not be your only motivation. That should not be just your why, so that you can survive. You know what I'm saying? We need to change that. And like I said, I get it. I personally feel like that stems, you know what I'm saying, from slavery. Again, everything that we learned was beaten to us. So that is, we've been trained that way. I get it, but we need to retrain ourselves. Love and positivity should always be our motivation to do anything. Chase Power, I'm just violent towards interracial dating. Well, Chase, I personally feel like, you need to fix that. Because how does that help? How is that helping our people by you being violent? That's just going to put you in a position to get locked up. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you feel some type of way. Like, this is what I've learned. I watched this movie, this documentary, The Secret, and I've said it a lot, and I'm going to keep saying a lot of y'all need to watch it. And it's something that you watch more than once. It's not something that you just watch once. Because every time you watch it, you can get something out of it. There was a segment in there where a woman was talking about Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa said that do not invite me to any type of anti-rally or like anti-war or anything. Don't invite me nothing that has anti attached to it. But if you have a pro-peace situation, invite me to that. So see, Chase, if interracial dating is is a big issue for you, then you need not worry about it. As long as you're not dating outside of your race, as long as you're teaching your children and the people around you, you know what I'm saying, and not saying not to date outside of your race, but push dating within your race. Just promote black love. That's it. Push that. Take pictures of it. Make sure you're in a black and you know what I'm saying, in a strong, black and honest and I guess flourishing relationship. And show that. Promote that. Don't get ugly because that honestly that's not I'm sure interracial dating is not paying your bills. I'm sure those people are not, what they eat don't make you shit. We got to focus on the right things. So, you know what I'm saying? Please try to balance that out. Because you don't need to be, only time violence needs to be used is to protect yourself. That is the only time that anybody should get violent. If somebody is violating your personal space or trying to hurt you, then you bust ass all day. But you can't, if it makes you violent, you know what I'm saying, about interracial, there's something within you that you need to fix. Because I hate to say this, but it's a reflection. You know what I'm saying? There's something that you got going on in there. I don't know your personal business. Well, whether it's an experience or some type of traumatic situation you got going on that's making you put so much energy into that you'll be violent. So I hope that you look into that, brother. We all peace and love and light. You know what I'm saying? We need to save that for war when it's really time, you know what I'm saying, to put boots on the ground and strap up. We don't need you locked up, brother, for something stupid. You obviously a soldier. We gonna need you on the battlefield. Can't do that if you know what I'm saying, if you locked up. All right. Now this definitely segued, you know what I'm saying, into something completely different, but that's that's what happens, because at the end of the day, like I said, my agenda is to push, you know what I'm saying, us unity in our community and fixing our issues at the core. That's what I'm about. And it definitely starts in the home. So, single people that have grown up in single parent homes, love your situation. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate, you know what I mean, the life path that you were supposed to live. Take all the great out of that. You know what I'm saying? If there's something that you need to figure out on why, if having that other side is what you need to then find that other side. Get your balancement. But don't ever feel as if your life is less than or somebody else is better, simply because of honestly the dynamics of your family or how many parents that you have in there, because that means absolutely nothing. That means nothing. Again, it's about the quality of parenting, not how many is in there. Because you can have, like I said, you can have one great parent, You can have one good parent and not so good parent. You can also have two good parents, and you can also have two bad parents. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You got four out of four. It could go either one of those ways. But at the end of the day, it's how you take that, what you take from that experience, and how you apply. You know what I'm saying? How you apply when you get older. You know there are things that were done to you that you didn't like, then you make sure you don't repeat that cycle. The things that you did like and the things that you know that is beneficial to your life, you take that and you pass it on to your children. It's really that simple. All right? Well, I love y'all. I hope that someone or all of you got something out of this. I hope we all have a different perspective of our lifestyles and appreciate, even our struggles, because all of those things molded you to who you are right this second. And who you are right this second is beautiful. So remember, all your trials and tribulations mold you to you. So embrace it. And anything that you want to change, you change it. That's all. May take you longer than some, may take you faster than some. But either way, you know what I'm saying, you stay focused, you know what I'm saying, on you. Being balanced. Because if we do this as individuals, it's going to be great for the collective. We can't unite if we're all fucked up individually. We got to get self right. All right? So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. We're going to continue with Family Ties edition. I have a couple of more subjects that I have come across that I think is very beneficial with this. And I can't wait to share. So I will see you guys on Monday. I love it. Oh, and somebody just inboxed me and asked me about my hair. Okay, so I don't really want, it's not a black owned company, so I don't really want to just go mad extra hard about it. But I was on Instagram and there's a few of them that are being posted now, and it's a temporary instant dye. So as soon as I go in the bathroom, I can wipe all of this off and I'll be right back to my regular self. So I felt like this was super dope for me because I like to change up. I am the face of my brand, and I try to be as creative as I possibly can, taking pictures of myself and things of that nature. And I also, I like to express myself in different ways. So this is what came about. So yeah, I was able to put it on my eyebrows and do all that good stuff. So if you go on Instagram or if you inbox me, I'll send you the link to it. But yeah, I'm looking for somebody with a black owned dye business, so I can have you on the show and talk about that. You know what I mean? I'll put you on to what I got going on, but I'm really about pushing and promoting black businesses. So hit me up in my inbox and I'll let you know, and I'll send you the link to where I got this from. But yeah, that's what this is. It is an instant temporary dye. All right? And I appreciate all of the admiration. So love y'all. Enjoy your night. Peace.